Hello everyone, welcome to the Tech Podcast series. This is Lakshit Panthya, host for the Tech Podcast series, and today I'm having an amazing guest with me, Arslan Javed, who is going to be. We are going to discuss on this podcast around AI and around the generative AI things and the buzzwords, and the some we will ask. I'll ask some basic questions around the future predictions. We will try to seek the experience of Arslan from this podcast. So before starting the podcast, I'll quickly like to you to introduce yourself, Arslan.
Yeah, so hello everyone. My name is like Arslan Javed. Currently, I'm working for Microsoft in Vancouver, and I'll try to answer the questions as far as my knowledge goes. So, yeah.
Yeah, sure. Thank you. And so, starting the podcast, I'll quickly, my the first question that I just wanted to ask. So, how do you see the AI becoming powerful in these years with your experience? And what are the but like if you can give any reason and the outcomes, because how I see is there can be three reasons. If you can pick any one of them, like it can be the part of the time span release, the laziness that human want to eliminate, and then the AI revolutionize and everything. And second could be like there is something, the real revolutionizing industry that can build the future kind of perspective. Or the last one is there is something scary that is waiting for us as a byproduct of AI. So I just wanted to enlighten us. I'll enlighten you from this. Like, how do you see AI becoming so powerful in these couple of years?
So the question I understand is like how AI is becoming powerful.
Yeah.
Okay, so powerful means like obviously AI is becoming powerful and it will help us, but as far as my knowledge goes, it still needs human touch. So human expertise is needed right now. Yes, but definitely if you are like trying to write some boilerplate code, right? If you want to just insert some frames or insert some form codes in your development, then obviously you can just you use GitHub Copilot or even ChatGPT, right? So these things will eliminate the things that we don't want to invest too much time in, because apart from these things, there are many things like business logic, like how the flow of the code will be or how the flow of the business logic will be. That AI
Exactly.
cannot do, and that what human needs to work on and and should work on also. So AI currently is eliminating these parts, which I believe it's a good step forward. Uh, so yes.
Yeah, and next, do you use a generative AI? In fact, because you are already working with Microsoft, so you have all the access of GitHub Copilot and all the Azure OpenAI API services that are available for you guys. So, in fact, I do a lot. What's your prediction? What will be the application of these tools that are coming into the market? Will be game changing? Will be playing a game changing role in the market in future? What's your perspective on this?
Definitely, I believe currently you do use it. We are like obviously it takes time to get adjusted to these things, because now you will tell. So suppose if you want to inject a button, so you don't have to write the entire code, or you don't have to go and copy somewhere else and come and paste it from here. You just write in the natural language, normal language, as a comment, and it will automatically injects for you.
Yes.
So these things is very handy, so you don't have to run everywhere, and this gives you time also to focus on the things like what after clicking the button what will happen. That is what you need to decide. Now clicking the button is the plain thing, because that is something has been going on from a very long time. But I'm giving just an example. It can be like a form, it can be like anything like div, or even the entire HTML, even not just the like front end, it could be the back end code as well. Suppose you want to have database integration or a class, you have to make a class or unit test cases. So for like especially for me, I don't like to write too much of unit test cases. So GitHub Copilot, if I want to add GitHub Copilot, I can just go over there and write it in the class and say to create a unit test cases for these particular methods for me, and it will create it for me. So now that time is for me, that time has been saved. because at least half an hour to 1 hour will be safe for me to just go and do the plain stuff. So yes,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think
I've
we
been talking to this my colleague also, and I just wanted to, because you are saying you are using this, and I've been working with this colleague, and my colleague says he works in X company, and he says in his company these generative AI, GitHub Copilot, ChatGPT is not allowed. Even if you can't copy the code from there, even if you see some on different screen and type the code on your system, it can predict the code, right, that you have written it from some generative AI or so they have banned it totally. So what's your take on this? Is it is it the right choice, or maybe what these companies are expecting these developers to do?
So obviously there are some resistance. And at any point of time, if some new technology comes, people don't who don't understand the technology, there will always be a resistance. And
Yeah.
also there will be some bad use cases also. I'm not saying it is 100% correct. The point
Yes.
is how you to totally ban it is also wrong, but to do use it in a wrong way is also wrong. So there should be guidelines of using it, right? So you
Exactly.
don't want to go into plagiarism, right? So if you're taking
Hmm.
someone else's code, is also wrong. But GitHub Copilot uses open source codes, which is like open to all. So even if you go to Stack Overflow and search something, you are getting someone else's code. You're not actually getting something new, right?
Yeah.
And so it trains itself on open source. So it should be good to use by anyone who wants to use it, but there should be a guidelines as well. If a company is like to secure or to want to use don't want to use something like this, then
So I do read a lots of these tech newsletters to my email, and I was looking for one, and I saw one blog post that totally changed my blow my mind, because everyone is using ChatGPT, likewise Mid Journey is there, and all these prompt related models that we are using. Though I use them very often, because to be very honest, I'm lazy too. But at the same time, I see them, they are more as in the phase of emotion collection, if we see. And that blog post that was mentioned, that these prompt generation AI models are more like an emotion generation phase, where we all are contributing to build an emotion driven data for these data companies, so that they can make more, they can improve the data more in from a human perspective, from a human thought process, like they can align the data. So would you agree with this thought process? I just wanted to know.
okay. So to be very frank, I don't know so what exactly they are trying to do. But but emotions, if they are doing collecting data on emotions, then I think it is going to help us, right? If because think like that, not just as a developer. If suppose someone is there who is not struggling good, like who's struggling with life or something like that, with some phase of their life which is not happy or happy or something like that. So if AI is able to identify that mood of that person and respond accordingly to that person, maybe he that person feels better about his or like he or himself, himself or himself herself. So I believe even if they are doing that, I don't know like what is happening in that case. I have not read that blog post, so I don't know. I cannot say a comment on that. But if that is the case, then there's I don't see any harm in that.
Yeah, definitely. And again, there are multiple newses, rumors every time in the these in the market. And there is this recent news, the Google guy who roughly has is 75 years old, and every AI tech that we see right now with Google, he has been integral part of all the projects of AI. Now he left Google, just and likewise Elon Musk and multiple other leaders, many other leaders are concerned about the capabilities of AI that we are building on the top of it. And so these come news are these. So how do you see, like, are the news affecting, or maybe the these are just rumors, or these news are really affecting going to the market?
The negative you're talking about negative news or like
Yeah,
positive
yeah,
news?
negative news about the AIs.
Things people have their own like perceptions, and they will
Perspective.
say
Yeah.
they will say what they feel like, and they should say also. So there should not be any filtering on that. And it's better, it's good if negative news are coming, because that will make developers more concentrate, like they will have more focus on making the new dev more secure or more basically more secure, like such that it won't use your data in a bad way or use the data to give you a bad result or something like that. So if negative news are coming, then these are actually good things, because this will make people more con- uh, how do you say, more focus on these things, where where they will try to make the new models more
Okay,
uh,
yeah, right. Now, I guess we had discussed enough of the scary part, and for our audiences, because they are primarily developers, I'll ask some simple question to you: is learning AI is the need of the market right now? If yes, then from where one should start? What would be the best approach to start right now?
So, job perspectives, yes, there will be a lot of jobs coming in, and people will be talking a lot about, especially in next 5 to 10 years, about AI. And so, AI is, for me, AI is not just an AI. AI is just a term to include a lot of things. So inside AI, there are like machine learning, there's data science, there's data analytics, there's natural language processing. So choose
Yes.
something. If you are really passionate about these things, choose something which you feel, passionate about, because these things are not that simple. It's more related to mathematics than computer science. If you actually wants to go inside it, if you want, so for example, if you want to become a data scientist, then you have to drive a lot of equations. You have at least not drive, but at least know about those things, because it's more about statistics, because it's more about reading the data and then manipulating the data into some info knowledge, and then using that knowledge to give the response, right?
Yeah,
So if
and
you like, sorry to interrupt, so if you like mathematics or these things, then definitely go into data science. So depending upon your thing, what you want to do.
okay, and I'm very curious to know, because you have worked in India as well with the Indian audience, you have worked also, and from right now you're working in Canada. So, any difference you have experienced, or there you think there exists any difference between Canada and India, especially from developer perspective? So, how people are using AI there in Canada, and how it's different from India here? Do you see any difference?
To be honest, no.
Okay.
There's not, as with respect to developers. The developers might change, the thinking might change, but the models, the core technology is the same. So even no matter where you are in the world right now, this is the good part for computer science, like students and workers, right, developers, that no matter where you are in the world, the code will always be the same, right? All you need to do is focus on your career. So the same thing happens over here also. Whoever focus on these things will obviously go into that thing. So code perspective, there's no change.
Okay, and as an SG2 at Microsoft, you are involved in development of multiple technologies. What are the most important or most exciting advancement projects you have worked on recently?
I have, like, so I don't know if I should say or not, but we have been working on ChatGPT. This is already out, right?
Okay,
So personally, I have not worked on this, but my team closely work on that, because I am in Bing team, right? So
okay,
we have integrated ChatGPT in Bing right now. So that was one exciting product that we recently worked on as a team.
okay. Yeah, and how has been your experience working on the Bing? Because it was out of the market, and suddenly with ChatGPT, release, the Bing is just has changed the game so of browser industry. So how has been your experience with the same?
Actually, it's like exciting, because now we can see how, because from past 10 to 15 years, search has been just searching plainly on the keywords and getting an answer, and like list of websites or web docs, right?
Yes,
But
yes.
with ChatGPT, you will get a consolidated answer for multiple docs, which it will scan automatically. So it's exciting. I hope it stays or it grows more in the next 10 to 15 years.
Okay, that's nice. And at last, I want to hear from you any future predictions you want to make on future tech, or if it's AI, if it's like immersive tech like that is coming, like AR, VR, or the metaverse that we have heard about, or it's like something similar on the top of it. What will be the future?
Okay, for the future, I believe that people will keep on working on these things. But as you already know, like the many things will work, many things will not work. So I cannot say which will not work, which will work. But definitely new technologies will come in this area, like AI and ChatGPT and all these areas. And yeah.
And just a follow up question for the same, because personally experienced this, the tech that comes in those global countries like Canada, like US, and also we are a little bit update we get the updates a little bit later, like a 1 year or so, after 1 year or so. So is there anything that is going on in the market that you are aware of, that you are working right now with, that will come to India later, and if you can just make an
So that
announcement?
is not true. That statement
Okay.
is not true. So
Okay.
at least in tech world, right? At least in tech world, whatever is happening in US is also happening in India,
Okay, that's
and
nice.
India is actually quite advanced in technology, right?
Okay.
Many things are developed in inside India. Like many good developers are working in India, and then making tech world so like future like very good. Even these good tech companies, they all have offices in India as well. So I don't
Yeah,
accept that. I don't agree with that statement that in India
yeah,
we get
that's
news late.
definitely true, and that's fine, that's true. So thank you for those insights, and this is all about this podcast, and this is what I just wanted to ask at last. If you have anything to share with our audience, we would be very grateful.
Uh, yeah, that's it from my side as well. Keep watching tech podcast and do use Bing and Microsoft products as much as possible.
Sure. Thank you,
Okay.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining in. Thank you, it was nice hosting you.